Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel Ojs.Apparel. In today's class, we'll be teaching you how to make a short pattern. Okay, so the full video actually is going to be based on how I made this two-piece. Okay, but I decided to drop a video on how I made the pattern for the short first before I go ahead to draft out the pattern for the top and the complete sewing process. So if this is what you're looking forward to learning how to sew, then please keep on watching, and do not forget to like my channel, do not forget to subscribe, and of course share. All right, so as many people as possible. So yeah, let's get straight up into the video. Okay, so right here I have my pattern on my table, and what I'm doing right now is I'm connecting 1 inch. I left 1 inch up and 1 inch by the side. Okay, so every measurement I'm going to be taking is going to be starting from that line right there. So from there, I'll go ahead and take my vertical measurements. All right, so first thing what I'm going to do is take my length of the shirt. I think the length of the shirt I decided making use of was 18 or 17 inches. So you just go ahead and take your length of your short, take the length is that from your waist, okay, down to where you want your short to stop. You can do 15, you can do 16, but I wanted mine to be 17 and it came out perfectly. All right, so that is that. So from that top, we'll go ahead and take our waist to hip measurements. Mine is 8, mine was 9. Okay, and then from there I took my crouch measurements, which was 11 inches, and then the length of my short. So yeah, go ahead and take yours. Where to find out your crouch measurement is to sit on a hard surface and you place your tape on your waist down to that hard surface. All right, so that is that. What I'm doing right now is I just went ahead to connect a horizontal line. All right, and I'm just going ahead to label my pattern, or my lines rather. So there I have my waist, my hip, and my crouch. So from my crouch measurements, I usually come down by 3 or 4 inches, but for this short I'm coming down by 3 inches, and that line is just going to serve as my tie line. So go ahead and label that as your tie. Okay, so next what we're going to be doing is we're going to be imputing our hip measurement. So my hip is 40 divided by 4. I have 10. So go ahead and impute your hip measurement divided by 4 on your waist line, on your hip line, and on your crouch line. And then you go ahead and connect a straight line. After connecting your straight line, what we're going to be doing next is we're going to be getting our crouch extension. And how you get your crouch extension is by dividing what you have on that hip measurement. Remember I said mine was 40. What I have there is 10, right? So 10 divided by 4 gave me 2.5. Okay, so whatever you have, when you divide your hip measurement by 4, whatever answer you get there, divide that measurement again by 4, and that is how you get your crouch extension. So after dividing mine by 4, I got 2.5, and then I'll just go ahead and place my 2.5 on my crouch, as my crouch extension rather. So go ahead and divide yours and place yours on that measurement. So that is what I'm placing there, and I'm just extending my line, okay, to indicate where it is. And then on your tie measurement, you can go ahead and divide your tie by 2. That is how you get the measurement on your tie. Mine is 25 divided by 2. I got that answer and I placed it down there. Now another way to achieve this is you can decide to place that tie measurement that you got divided by 2 there, or you could just connect your pants from that your crouch extension all the way to the length of the shorts. So for this tutorial, I decided not to make use of my thigh measurement divided by 2. Okay, I decided to just make mine straight. So you can either make yours straight or you could divide yours by 2 and place it there on that point and just connect. But for this tutorial, I decided to make mine straight. So yeah, just go ahead and do whatever that works for you. I wanted to try a different pattern, and that was why I did this. So from that crouch point, you just go up by 1 inch, okay, and then you connect from your hip line down to that point. Always make use of the dotted line method. It's usually easier. It helps you to avoid making mistakes, okay. And then on the waist point, we're going to take our waist measurement divided by 4, and you take your measurement from that point where your hip is and you connect it to your hip point. I hope I'm not confusing you guys. Just in case you don't get what I'm saying, just watch what I'm doing and you will not get lost. After connecting, this is what we have. You see how easy it is to create our front pattern. Okay, so remember, this pattern does not have an allowance. I would advise that you do this without adding your allowance. Actually, I added my allowance here because I usually prefer adding my allowance so I don't forget while cutting. Okay, but for the purpose of this tutorial, I would advise you don't add your allowance so you don't get confused while drafting your back pattern. Especially if you're a beginner, I would advise you don't add your allowance yet. Finish drafting your back pattern because you will need your front pattern to draft your back pattern. So by the time you're done drafting your back pattern and you place this on your fabric, you can just go ahead and mark your 1 inch all around like you see me doing on my pattern right now before cutting. But for this tutorial, I just added my 1 inch. That was because I did this before realizing that I shouldn't have. Okay, so like I said, draft this using your exact measurements before adding your allowance. So yeah, this is me cutting after I'm done. See how easy the front pattern is. So for the back pattern, actually there are different ways to achieve your back pattern. The method I'm going to be using here is just one of the methods I make use of. Okay, there are different methods you can use to draft your back pattern. So basically what you do for your back pattern is you just place your front pattern on your back pattern, trace out your crouch extension, okay, and just add 2 inches all around your pattern. It is that simple. Okay, you add 2 inches all around your pattern, but before you do that, there is you have to do something to the waistline and the crouch line. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing now is explain what I will be doing. So you see I left at least 2 inches, more than 2 inches at the top of my waist. That is because for the back piece, because of the ass, we have to leave at least 2 inches. We have to take at least 2 inches upwards. Okay, and what I did was I came in by 2 inches and then I went up by 2 inches, and I'm going up by 2 inches. If your clients happen to be very assy, okay, if your client has more ass, I'd advise you go up by 2 inches. Okay, but if your client isn't all hippie and assy, I would advise that you go up by at least an inch or 1.5 inch. Okay, that can work. And then from there I just placed my hip measurements in a slanted form to match my front piece, and I connected it, and that was how I got that slant. And then from the crouch, from that 2 inch, what we're going to be doing is, remember we traced out our crouch line and we extended it by 2 inches. What we're doing right now is we'll just connect that crouch to that point like so, using the dotted line method. It's usually easier, as you can see. Just keep doing this until you're satisfied with your curve. So this is what I have. All right, so there are actually different ways to achieve this. So this is just one of the ways you can achieve your back piece. There are other easier ways, so I guess with time we'll keep trying different ways, so you decide on which one works better for you. So from that point, I am going ahead to connect it straight up to meet the length of my pants, like so. And then from the other side, I am just going to go ahead and connect it to the hip point, like so. So this is why I said you should draft without your allowance for now, because this connection I just made would have been done without my allowance before adding my allowance to my pattern. But then again, as long as you understand, if you do not understand what I'm saying, please drop a comment on the comment section below and I will definitely explain better. Okay, so this is what we have. This is what our back piece looks like. All right, and what I'm going to be doing next right now is I'll go ahead and add my 1-inch allowance all around and connect my points. So the allowance actually depends on you. For the front part of the back piece, I would advise you add at least 2 inches, but for the back piece I would advise you add 1 inch. Okay, so whichever one works for you actually. Alright, so this is what I have and this is what my back piece looks like. It's very easy to draft your short pattern. Just go ahead and cut out with your scissors, and then next is you're going to place this on your fabric and you go ahead and cut. So after doing this, guys, the sewing video is going to be dropping in the next 2 or 3 days. All right, so yeah, if you're watching this, just go ahead and draft your pattern and wait for the sewing video to drop. Thank you guys so much for watching. Do not forget to like, share, and of course subscribe to my channel. So love you all and see you in our next. Bye.